Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Nvidia daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Nvidia. Let's talk about what is happening to the king of the market. I'll give you my thoughts moving forward. And as usual, again, if you enjoy, don't forget to hit that like button. Oops. It helps a lot. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my technical analysis, thoughts on the charts, updates, etc. Well, again, guys, I do have a private YouTube membership where I share my thoughts, post updates every single day as the market's open and trading throughout the entire trading day. So definitely check that out. That link is down below. For just $3 a month, you can access to all my TSLA updates, options flow, technical analysis updates, different time frames as it's trading and open, right? So that plus, of course, broader market updates, SPY, VIX, things like that. For just $3 a month, that's all it is. $5 includes Nvidia, $7 includes the whole package, where you also get access to my tier 3 posts, essentially about other stocks in the market that are setting up nicely, right? Patterns, bullish setups, etc. Key levels to look out for, and private access to my Discord, where we have a tier 3 chat room. A lot of people sharing thoughts, day trading, etc. And every Sunday I do chart requests with members. You're getting a lot for $7 a month. I mean, it's really not even that much. So hey, check it out if you're interested. Link is below in the description of every single video. However, Nvidia up a respectable, we'll say 2.2% on the day. Closing just shy of $207 per share. Not too shabby, right? And had a nice little pop in the morning, but unfortunately gave back a good amount of those gains, but still holding on to about half or so. So what does this actually mean moving forward? Well, I don't know. I'm going to start with the 1 hour time frame, right? I mentioned to my members how, we had this cup and handle pattern setting up as it was setting up, actually. If I kind of scroll down not too far from here, it is right here, actually, pretty much here 2 hours ago, right? As we were setting it up, you can see I mentioned that we're setting up a potential cup and handle pattern. That's exactly what we're doing, right? So, wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a bounce, maybe a small little bounce here, set up a nice little bow flaggy, which is usually what the handle looks like on the 1 hour time frame, and then potentially head even higher. Now, I did remove the trend line that we broke down below because this gap up today actually broke back above the trend line. I think it was this one here. So it's a little messy. See, initially it was looking fine, but once we get a gap up, then went above it, then we kind of turned into support, then we went kind of below it again. When a trend line becomes this messy, I stop using it because it's just no longer as clean. And if the trend line is not clean, then I don't really care about it anymore. So I resort to other, methods, if you will. Just want to make sure I kind of clarify that. But nonetheless, potential bullish cup and handle pattern setting up in the 1 hour time frame. Double rejection over here at 211, 212 ish, right? But as long as this level continues rejecting, we can be setting up this cup and handle pattern, get a rejection down over here, right? Maybe come back down closer to a little bit lower overall, 205, maybe even as low as 203. But as long as that holds, again, this could just be a small little cup and handle pattern setting up, a nice little move like this and then break out, head higher, and then we could get a nice little final rally as we start heading closer and closer into earnings, right? Potentially even closer to $220 per share. Absolutely becomes a possibility. The good thing about this cup and handle pattern on the 1 hour time frame is if we do get that sort of consolidation slowly downwards for the next few days maybe or so, a couple days, 2 maybe 3 days, whatever it takes, right? It will give time for the daily time frame over here for price to come down to the 9 EMA. You can see the 9 EMA is currently sitting at about 198, we'll say, right? Obviously, it's going to continue moving up towards price, and especially if price starts moving down towards it, we kind of meet somewhere in the middle. What if we meet around that green Fibonacci that I showed you in the 1 hour time frame, 203? We come down to it, 9 EMA comes up to us, meet in the middle, and not only do we start playing out that 1 hour cup and handle pattern I just showed you, but we also meet with the 9 EMA and bounce off of it as well. That would be the ideal scenario, kind of like what we did right here. Nice little push up, came back to the 9 EMA, and got that bounce. It's kind of the same idea for the most parts, right? So that's kind of what I'll be looking for moving forward in the, couple or so, days or so to come. That's going to be the main thing I'll be eyeballing. Also, the 4 hour SMI is showing, it's still a little extended. This will also give time for the 4 hour SMI to kind of cool off a little bit more, at least, to the middle range, if you will, which would be very, very bullish, kind of like what I did over here. You can see cool off to the middle of the range, got a nice push up, right? So, things like that is kind of what I'll be looking for overall in the days to come, the next, maybe 2 or so days, something like that. Something else worth mentioning, absolutely, is going to be AMD. AMD is reporting earnings tomorrow. Usually they're after the bell. Yeah, after the bell. So we'll see how that goes, right? You have to remember that, Nvidia, it's going to move most likely in some level of sympathy with AMD's earnings, whether that's good or bad. If it's good, it's good. It'll probably move up alongside it. If it's bad, we maybe move down alongside it, or maybe even inverses, right? Maybe something bad happens with AMD that's actually bullish for Nvidia, or vice versa. The thing is, you don't really know. So think of tomorrow as like a very mini Nvidia earnings potentially coming up, where it can potentially have a bit more of a sporadic movement after hours. Again, based on how AMD earnings goes, for better or for worse, right? So that is just something worth kind of monitoring and understanding as a potential risk, I guess you can say, coming up. So you don't get too surprised by it. But overall, that's kind of how I look at it. To me, the stock is still extremely bullish, right? Again, any sell-off from down here, closer to $200 per share, I still view as very, very bullish. If we started losing key levels, if we start losing at $200 per share, then I do think we'll get a bit of a deeper retrace to about 195, where the 21 EMA will most likely be at that point as well. It'll sort of meet price somewhere in around, around 195-ish if that were to happen, of course. But I do view Nvidia as extremely, extremely bullish, right? So I do think that honestly, any pullback from here overall is still extremely bullish. If you look at it at a bigger scale, a bigger kind of, more zoomed out approach, yeah, the 382 fibs down to the 0.5 fibs, right? You can see they're pretty much at 200 and 195. These two fibs right here, that is kind of that sweet spot right now, in my opinion, assuming the stock is very, very bullish, which it seems like it is, right? It definitely seems like it's quite bullish. But, wouldn't be surprised to still see at least some level of a pullback. To me right now, the main question is how deep? Is it just a small little quickie to 203-ish, and that's all we get? We head higher with the 9 EMA, or do we get a bit of a deeper pullback closer to between 200 to 195 in this kind of sweet spot here with the 21 EMA? Eventually, that'll meet price there, in the days to come, and then we just bounce off that instead. Which one? I don't know, obviously. It's hard to say for sure, right? I don't have a fortune ball. I can't say for sure. But the point I'm just trying to make is until something obviously, drastic happens, until something bad in the chart shows up, or something very potentially bearish even shows up, the stock is undeniably bullish. It is undeniably bullish. And I do expect any dips from here to one of these two levels to be bought up for at the very least one more rally into earnings. And at that point, well, it's anyone's guess, right? So that's probably the easiest way to think about Nvidia, in my opinion, moving forward without, overcomplicating it, right? Without overcomplicating it too much. Options flow. Let's take a quick peek at options flow. So overall, it's 62 million bullish flow, about 22 million bearish flow. So the bulls are taking control. But at the end of the day here, you can see, the bears are kind of, coming out of hiding, including one that's catching my eye a little bit here. 3.3 million put came in for Nvidia, 200 puts November 14th. Not too much farther out from here, guys. That's a pretty aggressive one. It's only about 2 weeks out, right? So that's pretty interesting. This is not only is it out of the money, but it's very high premium for only 2 weeks out. Actually, technically even less than 2 weeks, arguably, right? Slightly under 2 weeks. That's that's interesting, which even further makes me believe that yes, most likely we do, have some level of a pullback moving into, the next couple of days or so, maybe off of AMD earnings, who knows? But again, one of these two zones I do view as, a very bullish kind of bounce spot, if you will, for overall the stock to ultimately make one more rally higher into earnings, is my current expectations. All in all, that's kind of what I got for you guys. So let me know what you're thinking down below. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Peace.